and welcome. You're watching IndiaPostLive.com. It is a high-voltage 2014 poll campaign. The political grapevine is abuzz. Priyanka Gandhi herself has stepped in to square off against Narendra Modi. And she seems angry. Take a look.
If Narendra Modi was leading in the high-octane campaign against the Gandhi family, he just found a competitor at the other end. And this person is not even a Congress candidate in these parliament elections. Priyanka Vadra has led the charge against BJP and its PM candidate Modi. Campaigning in her home turf of Amethi and Raebareli, Priyanka played the Bahu, who has been at the receiving end of a man only interested in grabbing absolute power.
कवच बन जाता है छाती के अंदर जितना जलील करते हैं उतना मजबूत बनता है जितना गिराने की कोशिश करते हैं उतनी मजबूती से उठते हैं.
After harping on her husband's humiliation over Modi's remark of RSVP or Rahul Vadra's Sonia Priyanka and Robert making rupees 500 crores in 5 years through suspect land deals in Haryana, she attacked Modi like no one has done so far. So what exactly is driving the anger within her? Is it the frustration of her party not being able to counter Modi, or that she still remains confused about her role in the party?
All right, so Priyanka Gandhi ko itna gussa kyun aata hai? Why is she so angry? We are going to have a conversation about that today. And joining me in the studio, senior journalist and political editor of the Hindustan Times, Mr. Vinod Sharma. Sir, thank you so much for joining the conversation. Mr. V. Matthew, he's an election researcher and political analyst. Mr. Matthew, thank you so much. And we have with us on Skype our guest, Sunita Aaron, who is the resident editor, Hindustan Times from Lucknow. Sunita ji, welcome to the conversation.
Morning.
Good morning. All right. Vinodji, let me first ask you, what is it that has prompted Priyanka Gandhi to become so aggressive all of a sudden?
Well, I think that election time rhetoric is about aggression. It's also about humor, but most of the time our political leaders singularly lack humor, which wasn't the case earlier. I think that there is a more serious underpinning to what you're seeing. You know, the Bharatiya Janata Party as a strategy had wanted to dismantle Priyanka Gandhi as a political opponent or a challenger
As a force.
in future by invoking her husband's deeds or misdeeds, quote unquote. And I think it was very much in order for Priyanka Gandhi to counter that, because it is a fact that the BJP internally has this assessment that if she ever comes full time into politics, she will take away the attention of a huge section of the young electorate.
Yes.
And in terms of her ability to connect with the people, I don't rate her as a great orator. Well, I think she's a good communicator in the genre of someone like Lalu Yadav. You see, they are not great orators, but they are great communicators. They connect so well with the people. Now, take for instance the latest comment of Priyanka, and this shouldn't be construed as a defense. I'm just analyzing her position.
Of course.
That 56 इंच की छाती नहीं दरिया दिल चाहिए.
Yes.
ये बहुत सही बात है. It's very much right, because this country, it is my subjective view, can do without a strong prime minister. It must do without a strong prime minister. You've seen Indira Gandhi, she was very strong.
Yes.
Then you eventually like her, you defeated her, no, in Raebareli. See, India requires a decisive and a sensitive prime minister. This is the requirement of the Indian polity, which is so variegated. India is an amalgam of subnationalities. Unlike one nationality which is sought to be projected by the BJP. It is an amalgam of subnationalities. So there are sensitivities that vary from region to region. There are cultures which vary from region to region. and their languages and their religions and their castes,
Mr. Matthew, would you have a different point of view? Do you think Priyanka Gandhi is being so aggressive simply because she knows that the Congress is going to do badly?
See, without doubt, 2014 is not going to be a very great election for the Congress party. But see, when it comes to Mrs. Priyanka Gandhi, see, there's a lot of nobility flowing in her veins. So the calibrated aggression that she has shown
Yes.
to counter Modi's almost street urchin like diatribe is going well with the masses. If you, my interaction with a lot of apolitical or non-political people
Right.
say that she's got a lot of charisma and it oozes out. It oozes out in ample proportions when she's talking to the masses. Now the thing is that the Congress party has confined her to Raebareli Amethi. It is a good decision given that in 2014 she's going to be wasted if she were to campaign at the fag end of.
It's really too late.
It's too late. It's too late. She
Absolutely.
cannot revive the
cannot.
the fortunes of the Congress party. But it is as a strategy, she's very, very good. Although she's confined herself to Amethi Raebareli, I think it is a very, very calibrated and a very, very well thought out.
Sunita ji, let me ask you this. Do you think some of her anger also rises from the frustration of the fact that, there doesn't seem to be a very cohesive and a very strong leadership right now in the Congress party? Do you think it comes from there?
Well, I think it could be frustration also. It could also be that being offensive is the best tactic in the political arena. And I see her on a lighter side. I see her as a Amitabh Bachchan of the Congress party, where she's showing anger, she's showing pain. She's talking about rats scurrying around. She's talking about "Jitna zaleel karoge, utna main ladungi." And somewhere she's. I don't believe that she's a new avatar of Indira Gandhi. Times have changed, but certainly it reminds you how when they were attacking Indira Gandhi, how she used to react and how she's reacting. So she has decided to take it off. She's not going to be like Rahul, who's seen more as delivering unscripted dialogues. She's spontaneous and she's willing to take on the opposition, bull by the horns, as you say.
Vinodji, what Mr. Matthew said, that it's too late. Priyanka Gandhi has stepped in and she really cannot revive the Congress. What is your take?
No, I don't think her agenda, her charter is to revive the Congress party. Her charter from day one was to take care of the two constituencies that are represented in Parliament
Yes.
by her mother and,
She has been
and by her
tending to
brother.
them, yes.
And this gives enough time for these two to be campaigning for the party across India. So I think that this is a good division of work, given that she is keeping her political profile limited. But if you look at the exchanges
Yes.
between her and Mr. Modi, and I don't think it's proper to call exchanges. Well, one side says something, the other side delivers a riposte or a rejoinder. And I don't think that we can say that she's angry. She represents a whole lot of emotions. Emotion of hurt, emotion of self-respect, invoking her family's contribution to Indian polity. And frankly, I had seen her, the first public speech she made against Arun Nehru, I was a witness to that. And she changed the fortunes of Mr. Arun Nehru, who was so cocksure and so confident of winning the Raebareli seat that he came number 3 in that contest, which seat was won by Satish Sharma. So one single sentence that the man who betrayed my father would, जिसने मेरे पिताजी की पीठ में छुरी घोंपी कि आप उसके लिए वोट डालेंगे. This is what she told the people. Now, here is someone, right now what she is doing is, you see this whole toffee model of Gujarat is a Congress, or should I say Gandhi-Nehru family counter to all that has been said about Vadra. That Vadra took, so
Yes.
let us assume that if both the charges are correct, then Huda did for Vadra and Gehlot did for Vadra what Modi did for Adani. You see, and the first salvo on this score was fired by not Priyanka, but by Rahul Gandhi, who came up with this imagery of a toffee model of Gujarat, and who went on to say that under this toffee model, the BJP that belonged to Advani now belongs to Adani. So the complete statement was never played by any TV channel.
All right.
You see the irony is that the complete statement has not been played by any TV channel. This toffee model was one thing, and then it was followed by this statement that the BJP of Advani has turned into the BJP of Adani under this toffee model. That's a full statement, and I think that's a serious political statement in the given in the din and bustle of politics. But Mr. Modi chose to respond to it selectively, and he said that he's a little kid and he's looking for toffees, So I think that the BJP's effort is to show Mr. Rahul Gandhi as one who is yet to come of age,
Yes.
and their effort is to paint Priyanka in a corner on account of what is being said about her husband.
Right.
She's fighting back, and that's how it works in politics. I mean, you can't, there is no scope for silence. Silence can be discussed later, but there is no scope for silence during election time.
Not when
and
it's
there is
such-
no scope for absenteeism in politics.
Right.
You see, you must understand this. Absenteeism in politics and silence during election time are self-defeating. They can destroy popular perception about you. And I think that enough has been done by the BJP to destroy popular perception about the Congress and about Robert Vadra, and consequently Priyanka and her family at large. And she is now trying to repair it or present a flip side of it.
The RSVP factor, Mr. Matthew, where Mr. Modi has said, you can turn your assets from 1 lakh to 500 or 400 crores in 5 years. And now they have released this 8-minute video called Damad Shri. Do you think the BJP at some level is also getting a bit worried? Do you think they are also
See, the
desperate?
BJP is definitely rattled, and you see the video that was. I had a glimpse of the video. There's nothing major in the video to really pinpoint against Vadra per se. You see, that is a reaction to an action. See, had they released the video firsthand, it would have had more political
They
impact.
released it in the middle of the election.
No, that is fine, but that is a reaction to the Priyanka Gandhi. So,
Right.
see, the BJP is definitely rattled.
Right.
BJP is definitely. You see, but one thing is, all the media channels, whether it is the newspapers or the electronic media, now they have made it a Priyanka versus Modi
Yes,
fight.
exactly.
And Rahul Gandhi has been completely
Sidelined.
sidelined. So that speaks volumes about not just what the media. The media has made it a battle between Priyanka. I've seen the last
Sidelined
5
the
days.
media?
The last 5 days, the headlines are fully about Priyanka
Priyanka
Gandhi.
Gandhi, exactly.
No, you see, that's the nature of the beast, actually. I was so astonished that for most parts of the day, the last round happened, where 18 crore people went to exercise their franchise to elect 117 members of parliament. Most of the media channels, when they were playing those shots of people turning out to vote, they were showing film stars. And once Mr. Modi turned up at Banaras, they stopped showing the voting altogether. And actually, I was at one of the channels and I spoke later to the top guy in the channel. I said, listen, लोकतंत्र में तो जनता जनार्दन होती है, नेता जनार्दन नहीं होता. तो जो 18 करोड़ निकल के लाइन में खड़े थे, उनको भी तो आपको दिखाना चाहिए था. You should have shown those guys together with Mr. Modi. I have no problems with that. But you can't be just for 2.5 hours, 3 hours,
Right.
just showing one man all the while.
Let me get Sunita ji's view on this. Do you think it's media created, this Priyanka Gandhi versus Narendra Modi campaign? Do you think it's
No,
been created?
I don't think
Okay,
so.
okay.
She's taking care of 2 constituencies, but she's talking about national issues. There's no reason she's not talking about Raebareli and Amethi. She's only talking about her family connect with Raebareli and Amethi. People are not interested in a family connect. When you are hitting out at Modi or you are taking on national issues, you can't be seen as someone who's confining herself to the 2 constituencies. I personally think that this Vadra episode, I think next election she will be out of these 2 constituencies. It's very clear the stage is being set, and Priyanka is entering, she has already entered active politics. And look at, there's so much of hypocrisy.
Okay, we seem to have lost Sunita ji there. Okay, she just made a very interesting point. She said that this is actually preparation for 2019. Yeah?
See, not just that, Priyanka Gandhi along with Varun Gandhi.
Right.
Varun Gandhi, it's just a matter of time before he comes to the Congress. Just a matter of time.
Varun Gandhi.
Varun Gandhi is just a matter of time before he comes to the Congress. Varun Gandhi plus Priyanka Gandhi is going to be a very, very, very potent combination for the Congress party.
You think so?
I agree with him. You see, I think that the recent, advice by Priyanka, first of all, she reprimanded him publicly.
Yes.
And
Fixed
then
match.
she advised him.
Yes.
I have knowledge from reliable sources.
No, he's
Can
going
be
around
wrong.
telling everybody.
That when he made that statement in 2009 in Pilipit, Priyanka was on the phone with him, and she spoke to him that you shouldn't have said all that you did. And mind you, even Manika's reaction to what Priyanka told about her son publicly is a very, very subdued and restrained reaction. And even Varun's own reaction has been very deferential. If you go by what is happening now in terms of the use of harsh language
Yes.
and sharp reports, in relative terms, this exchange was perhaps more civil, though by their own standards, less civil, by their own family standards. So it is quite likely that Varun is very unhappy with the Modi, regime in the BJP.
वापसी तय है.
वो उस मोदी regime से बहुत
Vapsi
unhappy
तय
है.
है. Sunita ji, yes, you have something to say. Yes.
Yeah, I think we are missing out 2017. Perhaps because I'm sitting in UP and they're sitting in Delhi, that's the difference of perception. 2017, in case Modi is able to form his government at the center, 2017 in UP is going to be a very important election, and let's see the role that Varun gets there. So 2019 will come after 2017.
Okay.
You see, she has a point, but there is like she knows better on the ground there.
Of course.
In Delhi, what we have heard, when one of the closest aides of Mr. Modi went to UP, and he tried to establish first contact with various members of the Legislative Assembly. Some of them said, we are here with Varun and all that. And, there was this problem. And one can go into details, but because one is not 100% sure. But, why is it that Mr. Varun Gandhi is not being used in elsewhere in UP? Why is it that he's confined today just to Sultanpur? He's been asked to remain there. And not stir out of Sultanpur. You see, here is a man who's contested election from Pilibhit. Here is a man who's now contesting from Sultanpur, and his mother has also changed her constituency. You see, I think that there is a certain restraining influence on Mr. Varun Gandhi within the BJP today, which runs perhaps counter to his own ambitions in Uttar Pradesh and also nationally. And I go along with my friend that this possibility, though not 100% certain, cannot be put beyond the pale of possibility.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the rhetoric that has been happening. We all agree that it's been more vitriolic than witty. In fact, even, now Mr. Farooq Abdullah made that statement,
Silly
and
statements.
that was, what is your reaction?
See, the civility in political discourse has gone down quite a bit. I
Yes.
think it started with, quite regrettably, Arvind Kejriwal, and then, even Narendra Modi has taken it down to the really gutter level. So one must counter that with intelligent and witty repartees rather than, getting down to a very coarse level of discourse.
Sunita ji, do you think that, Sunita ji, can you hear me? Yeah. Do you think that the 2014 Lok Sabha campaign has been the most vicious and vitriolic? Instead of wit, instead of fun, instead of humor? You can, have barbs at each other without being so nasty.
It would have been much, much better if the Modis and the Gandhis had gone for a direct showdown instead of exchanging into a war of words. Why can't Modi go to Raebareli, couldn't go to Raebareli, and why should Priyanka not go to Varanasi? If Modi wants a direct election of the Prime Minister, country's Prime Minister, which he has forced by getting his name announced, then there should have been a direct election usually. Why can't we have Sonia fighting against Narendra Modi or Narendra Modi? They don't even visit each other's constituency. So you keep on calling each other names in the, in the worst ever abusive language. But when it comes to, going to each other's constituencies for a, head-on, for a clear head-on, they avoid. Why? So I think it's all a drama. Both the parties don't want real public issues to be discussed.
Vinodji has a
No,
point.
you see, over the years in India, the only election which was the first, what should I say, battle royale, was in Phulpur when Ram Manohar Lohia contested against Pandit Nehru. And Ram Manohar Lohia did it to create, to sew up on the ground a social alliance which could counter the then very formidable Congress alliance of Dalits, Muslims and Brahmins, So that backward alliance was basically tactically a social alliance meant to counter the Congress's, sort of unassailable alliance of that time. So that was the first battle royale. Sunita has a point when she says, why can't they contest against each other? But in the current scenario, where you see the BJP has given this battle the trappings of a presidential contest, I think then it was the initiative lay with Mr. Modi to come and contest from Amethi rather than, or Raebareli, rather than Sonia Gandhi going and contesting from Vadodara or from Varanasi. Because Congress party did not want to turn it into a presidential contest. They wanted to keep it as a parliamentary contest, It does not suit them. You see, when the NDA government was in power, they set up a commission under Justice Venkat Chalaiya to study the working of the constitution, and in which they had talked about the presidential form of government, and which was at that time also, because each time the BJP has had a leader that it thinks could have a pan-Indian appeal, they start talking about the presidential form of government.
You're right.
You see, when they had Vajpayee, they talked. Now they have Modi, they are talking. And I think that it would have amounted to playing into the hands of Modi, because there was this talk of Priyanka being set up from Banaras. And Mr. Rajnath Singh and Sunita would remember, said that we will announce our candidate in Banaras, we will announce our candidate in Amethi and Raebareli once they announce their candidates in Banaras. Rajnath said this and it was reported.
One point I would like to say, even if you don't want to contest against each other, at least you can go and campaign each other's
that's right.
constituency. What stops you from going to Varanasi and they coming there? This is something very important, exchanging, sitting in two different corners of the country.
Why hasn't Priyanka gone to?
Priyanka Gandhi should go to Kashi Vishwanath and pay her respects at the temple. That is the least she should do. Forget everything else. To rattle BJP, that is all.
No, she will do that, I think.
I hope she does it.
We still have 30th, 7th and 12th
No,
to go.
there is a strong possibility.
I
You
hope
see,
she does
elections are in Banaras are after the next round.
Yes.
And there is a strong possibility
It's
that
on the
she may
12th.
go.
It's on the 12th.
And Hindustan Times has been writing about this and hope we turn out to be correct, that she may go there.
She should actually go there.
No, actually she wrote a letter. She's been in touch with Ajay Rai. And the least she can do for Ajay Rai is to go and at least pray in a temple for him there.
Exactly.
If not, go and stage a roadshow like Mr. Modi did,
And Mr. Modi should be going to Amethi. If you can send Smriti Irani against Rahul, why can't Mr. Modi go to Amethi? And in fact, when there is such a debate going on in the country, secularism versus communalism, then why couldn't secular bloc, which is SP, BSP and Congress, field a joint candidate against Modi, defeat him there? But the point is, as I'm telling you, these politicians, they know how to wriggle out of real contest, real issues, and make this election a big tamasha.
All right.
I think that, setting up a joint candidate against Mr.
Strategically,
Modi
it is not a correct decision.
would have given him larger, he already is acquired through his own, tactics, larger than life. And, as if it was, like, that Team India against rest of the world, like we have in cricket.
Cricket, yes.
So, I mean,
Strategically also, it is not good for SP or BSP to give up their candidates.
Okay, we are running out of time now, but before we wrap up, I would quickly like to tell you, you can send us your tweets, what you thought of this entire conversation, #IndiaPostLive. Let me, get your last comments on this. Mr. Sharma, we still have a 30th and a 7th and the 12th, we still have counting. Do you think this vitriolic attack, Priyanka Gandhi versus Narendra Modi, is it going to likely to get worse?
No,
I mean, she has just called them panicky rats after the release of that Damad Shri
No, but
video.
what is vitriolic about calling somebody that, there's a, like a rat. Frankly, this is
Angrier?
normal political lexicon. You see, when it becomes bad is as follows. That when you say, I'm going to cut him into small pieces.
Vasundhara said that-
say that, if you're going to elect a political party in this country, then there'd be celebration in the neighboring country. That is vitriolic. That is not proper. But there is certain concession which is there in a political discourse. And if you call your rival a rat, or you call your rival a bag or whatever, that's okay. It's permissible imagery.
But comparing members of the Sangh Parivar to rats, I think is giving a bad name to rats. if you ask me.
All right. Sunita ji, your last comments?
How low can we low? We have already touched the lowest, I suppose. But in one of the interviews, Modi had said we still have few things up our sleeves. So let's see how dirty they can be. But people have already made up their mind. If the society is divided
Yes.
into two sections, those who are supporting Modi will support despite his deserted wife, and those who want to support Gandhi's would support despite Vadra. So I think people have made up a mind. The dialogue delivery will continue. As I said, it's like a Bollywood film.
Right.
The best comments, most humorous, are coming from Lalu, whom the media is not showing
Completely
adequately.
Yes.
Completely
He the other
ignoring.
day said, like I did with the railways, मैं बिहार को शैम्पू लगा के चमका दूंगा और मोदी को यहाँ से भगा दूंगा. I mean, you see, the guy has a very
Those
rustic
are
sense of humor.
comments we need more of, actually.
Yes.
But like Sunita ji said, people have already made up their minds. People know who they're going to vote for, despite a Vadra and despite a Modi. I would like to thank all of you for joining in this conversation. Thank you so much. It was great having you. And all of you out there, please remember to log into India Post Live and play the game that we have started. It's called the Vote Race, Drive Your Neta. It's a very interesting game. We are in the middle of a staggered election. We are in the middle of a very interesting high voltage election and poll campaign, as we were just talking about. So there is the game on your screen. You can play this game, and it is I promise you it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm waiting for your tweets regarding this conversation we've just had at #IndiaPostLive. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.
Thank you.